Any of you who have ever watched us talk, whether it was here on EWS, whether it was the V Team with Michael Maxwell, or wherever, any of you that have ever heard us try and share with you about Joko, we've never fully been able to get it across, and we spend all this time talking about it, then we run out of time before we finish it. So I'm going to start backwards. I'm going to start with the end in mind and move backwards. So, kind of like what Kern had mentioned in this, and Eric did in the beginning too, how duplication is key. And early on, we all wanted to be good presenters. We wanted to be good speakers. Todd actually went and studied and is a molecular hydration specialist. Joko used to tell us he wanted to be like Danny D. McCullough. Wow, what a great presenter. What an excellent demonstration that man gives. And it's awesome. And thank God there's videos that we can send any of our prospects to watch the demos. But we also realized if we became great speakers, and as we became good at doing a water demonstration, we may be able to fill a room with folks and give the best demo anyone has ever seen. And everyone in the room is closed 100%. Everyone is all in. They're ready to sign paper tonight. But at the same time, they're thinking in the back of their head, that's awesome, I'm in. But I could never be like that guy, Danny D. McCullough. I could never speak or present like that. It's not as duplicatable, and so we realized if it's not simple for duplication, Joko realized that when Joko's not around, if there was no Joko, no business would die. And so we realized, yes, it's good to be able to present. Yes, it's good for all of us to learn the ins and outs of this business and the product we have, to be able to be ready at any moment to share the good news, whether it be with the product or with this wonderful business plan. But to simplify it, so real duplication takes place, Joko has really come down to a really great for lack of better terms, formula that the biggest introvert could do. And I'll give you basically the 4 steps that they do. Every distributor, and first of all, they really focus on one-on-ones. Events are great. We have them as well, and they're great for unification, putting people in the room and celebrating together. But prior to those events, one-on-ones take place, kind of like Kern had mentioned. When he's hollering at a buddy or an old friend, he gets together with them one-on-one over a cocktail or over a coffee or whatever first. And then he schedules a second meeting for third-party validation that's still really intimate and a one-on-one. After folks are already enrolled, either they're already in the business or really serious about joining up with us, then and only then do we bring them to an event. And same with Joko. So all of his people have learned to duplicate this, and they talk to their prospects with one-on-ones. What do they show up to these appointments with? They do not show up with tea bags. They don't show up with drops and cups and tomatoes. They don't show up with a bag full of 10 different waters to test, and all that's great for a demo. Starting out on a one-on-one, here's what they show up with. 1 piece of paper and a pen. The only other thing in your demo bag is your phone. So now, these are the only ingredients you need to share this business on the front end. These 3 items. And what they do first is have a conversation about life, what they're up to in life, the program they're on. And then Joko shares the solution to life. This is where the pen or pencil and 1 piece of paper comes in, which I'm about to share that with you. And after they share that, where does the phone come in? Here's your demo with Danny D. McCullough, Bob Gradelli, your favorite demo, whichever one it is. You've got an arsenal, an array to pick from. Once you discern your prospect, you can decide and be led by your heart. Which one do I hit play on for this person? The only other thing I'm not showing you that he has is headphones. So if they're in the coffee shop, Joko will plug headphones on and have his prospect put headphones on. He hits play on a demo. But before he hits play on the demo, they show them the 8-point compensation plan first. But basically, for their duplication, they have a pen and paper and 2 videos, the 8-point system, and then their favorite demo. They also splice in on their demo Dr. Hiromi Shinra for validation, third-party validation, and he's real strong to use as validation. So I'm going to now break down how and what they do, but I just wanted to give you the end that it's that simple. Those are the only ingredients, and you're not lugging bags around. And the biggest introvert now does not have to present. They can just hit their play on their cell phone. So Kern brought up a really good point, which we all know this, but it's great to always remember. And Kern said usually on his first meeting he is a listener. And this took some practice. Kern wasn't the best listener on the beginning. Just being excited, whatever. He's the type of guy that asks you a question, you can see his mind spinning. He's already thinking of the next thing he's going to say, and we had, stop. Now Kern's heart is, and he's always been authentic, but now that he's learned the art form of listening, it's even more powerful. Why listen? Because, again, we want to know where you're at, what you're up to in life. And like Todd has shared before, people will tell you. People want to. And so just hanging out, hey, man, what's been going on? What are you up to? Man, I'm still on the grind. I'm doing this, this, or this. And so, when it's finally time to talk to them, to give them a solution to life, what's also called a backup plan, we call it a plan B. We also call this Joko's solution to life because we credit Joko from sharing this with us. Greg drew this last week. I'm going to draw a quick version, even though it's a chart that Eric has keep posted up, but I'm going to hand draw it for you for more reasons than one. So any of you got pen and paper, go ahead and copy what I'm about to do here. And here it is. Now this is something, Todd's even done it on a napkin at the bar, talking to a complete stranger. But really this is so simple, and you have a conversation with folks. So everyone can just draw an L right here, and you basically ask them, what do you think the average 25-year-old makes per month? And you want your prospect to tell you. There's no right or wrong answer, but you get them to tell you what they think. The average 25-year-old, what he makes a month. And again, there's no right or wrong, but it is cool to have your prospect tell you. So let's just say on average, say it's $1,600 a month. Cool. Then you ask your prospect, after working 10 years of their life, whether they've come up, changed jobs, got a promotion, anyone that works 10 years are hoping to go up in pay. So then you ask them 10 years later, age 35, what do they make? And some people say, well, let's say $2,500 a month. Great. Then you go on 10 more years, 45 years of your life. What do you think the average 45-year-old makes per month? Okay, they say around $4,500. Awesome. Then they work 10 more years of their life. Now they're 55 years old. And I hope my brother Joko's just looking, smiling. He's like, oh, there's Joko United States. It's Matt. Thank you, Brother Joko. So they work 10 more years. They're 55 years old. What's the average 55-year-old make a month? Let's say your prospect says, $7,000. Awesome. So here's someone that their pay has completely gone up. And Joko asked me, what's the average age of retirement in America? In Indonesia, the average age of retirement is 55 years old. He asked us, is that the same in America? And we laughed, saying, no, everyone wants to, but so many folks don't have retirement on the menu. My father's in his 60s, and he doesn't have retirement around the corner at any time soon. A lot of Americans do not. That's why usually you'll never see a young greeter at Walmart. Regardless, though, those who are lucky enough to retire, let's say at age 55, making $7,000 a month, what happens to their income the second they retire? It obviously drops. But there is another line that never drops and always keeps going up. And what is that? Your expenses, the cost of living, your bills. And so that's real important. Whether you stop working, your bills don't. So anyways, that's really good to show. Well, what do we just do here? We mapped out 30 years of your life. We mapped out 30 years of anyone's life. This is the plan that most people are on, working for a system as part of an overall system. Todd always says, you know, they're working as a system for somebody else's system. Most people are working to make other people's dreams come true. This is the program we're all on. Whether you love your job or you hate it, why do we do this? What are we in it for? This is called get up and go to work, get up and go to work, and get up and go to work, and then do it again over and over and over again. Why do we do this? Obviously for obvious reasons. For family, for the house, for the cars, for your kids. At the end of your life, what did you do all this for? And everyone has their own answers, but usually it's for family and expenses. And to provide, most people hope at the end of all this that they do have something in savings, and God forbid have something to actually pass along to their children or to leave behind. But another thing Joko likes to point out, especially to young 25-year-olds who aren't even thinking much about when they're 55 or older, but usually, you know, people say when you reach 55, 60, 65 and older, other things come into play, especially if you haven't been on our product your whole life, and that is Dr. Bills. You know, he'll mention that once you get older in life, your body, you're not as young as you were when you started this deal out. Things in the body can break down, and you'll have medical expenses. Most people, whether they get sick or treatments, whatever the case may be, at the end of their deal, can zap their whole life savings, can take what they were trying to save to leave to their children. And it's a sad song, but it's just mainly the program most of us are all on. You know, I have family members, I watched my own grandparents, you know, worked and saved their whole lives, only at the end of it all, you know, their whole savings going to the nursing home and nothing to leave to the kids. Now, obviously, the kids didn't care. They just loved mom and dad, but still, there was no what Joko calls backup plan. So he maps this out, and this is important for your own prospects to realize the program they're already on, the program we're all on, and we also realize without something else, without a backup plan, this is what's on the menu. And we're not doing this to call it right or wrong or good or bad. Well, the question is there another way? Is there something else on the menu? And you'll really hear this from the youth, from the younger generations. Kids that are just getting straight out of high school, there's a lot of pressure on what are you going to be? What are you going to do the rest of your life? Are you going to college? Do you know how many kids today sign up for college and they're not following their passion? That is just a story. They have something to suffice the rest of the family at the Thanksgiving dinner table, buying themselves more time. Still don't know what they want to do in their lives or be up to, but at least they feel more credible by saying, well, I'm in school now. Oh, that's good. And then they pass the salt, like, okay, you're good because you're in school. And we know that so many kids, whether they do 4 years of college or longer, then they graduate out of college in debt, with a degree, hoping to get that entry-level job, in debt to school loans, hoping to get that entry-level job making 40 or 50 grand a year, and still not in love with their lives or their job or their passion. So a lot of youth will see this as the only thing on the menu and don't want it, don't want to sign up for it. And so we have a lot of youth that is viewed as rebellious because they're not following that system or that menu. But the youth will also say their own hearts will tell them there's got to be something more. What is it? And we have it. For anyone in the middle of this system, a plan B, a backup plan, we have it, and that's the good news. Even if you love the system you're on, even if you love what you're doing. I'm one of the blessed guys. I'm a tattoo artist. But you know what? There's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many clients I can tattoo. If you swing a hammer, if you work at the bank, it's all quantified. But one thing we also wished we had more of was time. Who cares how much money you got if you have no time to enjoy it or spend it with your family? You know, that's why the Heart of Enagic is so awesome, because we're trying to give everyone not only more money, not only more health, but more time to actually enjoy it. And so at this point, you know, there's one more formula that Joko shares with everybody, which is the difference between hard work and smart work. And so here's you. Let's say you work 8 hours a day, and you don't take a day off. You work 30 days at the month. So that's the formula. You working 8 hours a day for 30 days a month. At the end, you get paid on 240 hours. This is you working for you, relying on you, getting paid on you, and you got 240 billable hours. Whether you make $10 an hour or 100, this is hard work. And I'm no stranger to hard work. Todd and I actually grew up on a farm. I love hard work, and healthy mind can come with that. But is there the only difference between guys that are working for a system as part of the system are men who own their own system? And the difference would be, if you owned your own system, just for easy math, let's say you can create 100 U's working 8 hours a day for 30 days. Now that man gets paid on 24,000 hours. Both of these men were given 24 hours today. Both of these men have equal opportunity. Both of these men have the same amount of time allotted for them. Both of these men get paid this in 1 month. The difference is one man's working for a system, usually somebody else's system, getting paid on 240, and this man owns his own system, and he's duplicated himself and has 100 of himself or 100 partners, and at the same month gets paid on 24,000 hours. And that's the difference between smart work and hard work. Well, that's when Joko will segue into and say, there is a company that's been around for over 40 years that has created this system and the opportunity for you to own your own system and build your own system. But here it gets even better. The good news about this system, because remember, let's go back to the graph here. What is this? I just mapped out 30 years of your life. There's a company out of Japan called Enagic that has created the opportunity for you to own your own system and build your own system, but instead of 30 years, a system, and we've been given a blueprint to be able to do it in 3 years. And you don't have to do it alone. Actually, you're not supposed to do it alone. We're going to build it with you. Would you be interested in hearing more about this system? So, at that point, when most people were completely interested in hearing more about this system, that's when you don't have to present or do a demo. That's when you pull your main speaker of the night out and put the headphones on your prospect and hit play on the 8-point system. Once the prospect watches the 8-point system, then and only then do we, even for the first time, share how it gets even better. Because not only do you have the opportunity to own your own system, and together we're going to build it together over the next 1 to 3 years, but along with your own system comes these amazing things. That's when we bring in the product for the first time. And at this point, the product is an absolute mind-blowing cherry on top. We know here, even everyone that's been trying to create awareness about Kangen water, still to this day, most people, awareness needs to be created. They don't know about Kangen. They don't even really realize everything on the menu, if we're talking about water in America, is not serving them well. But only then at that point is when you can tell them what also comes along with their new life system by hitting play on the demo of your choice. And the only other thing they do is bring in Dr. Hiromi Shinra to validate this technology. And so that's, in a simple way, a few simple steps that Joko does with his whole team, and it's way easier, more duplicatable. Everyone can relate to this because we're already on it, or our parents are on it, our children are on it. Everyone's on this. So this is a conversation you could have, and then we have the solution or a great backup plan or plan B to go along with the system you're already on. And it's just absolutely, amazing from there, and we get to be the ones to create awareness and to offer this to the masses. If you were born with a heart for people, to want to help people, this is a way to help people's lives, to help them get true health settled out of the deal. And yes, we all want people to have good health. We all know the necessity and the importance of water in your body. That's a no-brainer, and we happen to have the best water in the world. So that is amazing that happens to come along with them now owning their own system. Well, guess what? Everyone wants this. Everyone would like the opportunity. Most people just don't know how. We're not taught in school until now.